expression.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy Man's Best Friend release week. Seriously, Sabrina Carpenter's 7th studio album is coming out on Friday, and of course, leading up to this, I wanted to do a deep dive on Sabrina's career. She is someone who has been in the industry for over a decade, but just recently has been deemed a main pop girl, and I want to kind of explore why that is. So let's throw it all the way back and kind of dissect her career starting from the beginning. Sabrina was seriously destined for fame because literally she was posting covers on YouTube of her singing at 10 years old.
Hi, I'm Sabrina, and somebody told me that they'd love to hear me sing this song, so I'm going to sing Picture to Burn. Hope you like it. Hey, dance to me, oh, pick up truck, you never let me drop. The game red, game heartbreak was really dead alive, yeah.
Specifically, she loved a good Taylor Swift cover, so the fact that she is featured on Taylor's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, is probably a crazy full circle moment, as well as of course, opening on the Eras Tour and performing with Taylor. I'm sure it's just crazy for her to think about. But in 2009, she actually competed in Miley Cyrus's Be a Star contest, which was pretty much a singing competition to find the next tween star, where she placed 3rd out of 10,000 entries.
3 times, shake it out, head to toe, throw it all together, that's how we roll, and do the hoe down. Do the hoe down.
That was really good, and she was only 10 at the time. But she didn't get a record deal out of that or anything, and wanted to go the acting route, at least just for a little bit, so she got her first role in Law & Order SVU, which for that to be her first role is wild, but she did that and then got a recurring role in a sitcom called The Godwin Games, which led to her first stint on Disney starting in 2013, where she ended up recording a song for the Disney Fairies series and then getting a voice acting role in Sophia the First. So that was where she really started on Disney, but her big break came in 2014, where she played Maya Hart in Disney's Girl Meets World, which of course was a revival of the really popular 90s sitcom Boy Meets World. And a fun fact, she actually auditioned for the role of Riley Matthews, which we know went to Rowan Blanchard, but it's really interesting that that is who she read for at first. And personally, this is really where I know Sabrina from, because my family and I would sit and watch every episode of the show together. So I've known Sabrina for a very long time, and I've clocked that she kind of has this talent and this aura about her. She just is meant to be famous. At the same time she was cast on this show, she actually signed a record deal with Hollywood Records, which is Disney's label, and she signed a 4-album deal, which is kind of a lot, but that's pretty typical with Hollywood Records. I did another video on here about Disney Channel stars and flop pop star careers, and it seems like they want to sign their talent for a multi-album deal, so that wasn't atypical. In March of 2014, she released her debut single, Can't Blame a Girl for Trying, and gag, this song was good. This song was so good. If you are not familiar with Sabrina's early work, specifically this song, stop this video right now and go stream it. Another fun fact, it was co-written by Meghan Trainor, who in 2014 was really at the top of her game. Her first EP was released under the same name on April 4th, and it was met with mixed reviews. It was generally pretty favorable, but nothing crazy. For the next few years, Sabrina stayed working on Girl Meets World, as well as simultaneously doing music, with her first studio album being released in 2015 titled Eyes Wide Open. It peaked at number 43 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 12,000 copies in its first week. Then her second album, Evolution, came in 2016. She was churning stuff out. And mind you, this entire time she's doing Girl Meets World, which ran from 2014 to 2017, she was working. And on the second album was the smash hit Thumbs.
Keep on twiddling them thumbs, diddle-dee-dee-dum. Raise those thumbs higher.
And seriously, this song does not get the respect it deserves. This song is so good. That song went triple platinum in my house, but the album itself peaked at number 28 on the Billboard 200 chart, which did show some growth from the first album. On top of everything else she was doing that year, she also starred in a Disney Channel original movie with Sophia Carson and did a theater production of Peter Pan and Tinkerbell Christmas, as well as embarking on her first headlining tour. And then in 2017, she was still churning out music. She was releasing new songs, then she went on her second headlining tour and opened up for Ariana Grande on her Dangerous Woman tour in Sao Paulo. Amidst all of this, she was still a Disney girl, so she was doing Disney appearances like going on Radio Disney, going to the award shows, and doing all those performances that was kind of required of you when you had a Hollywood Records contract. Post Girl Meets World, she was still in her acting bag, starring in multiple films like The Hate U Give, The Short History of the Long Road, the infamous Tall Girl movie. I always forget that Sabrina was in Tall Girl, and then I have to go back and remember that that is something that she actually did. And also Work It, that movie that she did with Liza Koshy. During this time, music really didn't take a backseat either, because she also released her third studio album, Singular Act 1, in 2018, with another hit song, Sue Me. And this was personal. She meant business on this track because she was calling out her ex-managers for suing her for allegedly not paying them commission. A year later, she released Singular Act 2, finishing up her contract with Disney, and this was her most personal album to date. She was writing about a lot of things that were like near and dear to her, and I want to mark this as a shift as Sabrina's writing specifically because like after this, we get into like very personal projects. And to finish out 2019, Sabrina was cast in Mean Girls on Broadway playing Katie Heron alongside Renee Rapp, who was playing Regina George. Now, this was set to open in 2020, and the pair completed 2 performances before Broadway was shut down due to COVID. So that's pretty much the history up until the beginning of 2020. And we know after that the whole world shut down, but most importantly, Sabrina had finished her contract with Hollywood Records and decided not to re-sign. But then leading into 2021, all hell broke loose. I personally believe the biggest catalyst in Sabrina Carpenter's career, music aside, was Olivia Rodrigo releasing Driver's License. With Olivia bursting onto the scene with this song, it was natural for fans to want to know what she was talking about. This was the most streamed song at the time. Like seriously, everyone was talking about Driver's License. It was Olivia's debut single. The lyric, "And you're probably with that blonde girl," led a lot of people to assume that this song was about Sabrina Carpenter and her relationship with Joshua Bassett after Olivia and Joshua split. So the pieces were put together and Sabrina started to face mass backlash. At this time, it was also announced that Sabrina did sign with Island Records, but like that really fell to the bottom of the news cycle because she was getting attacked left, right, and center from people just like saying the most horrible things to her, which she did not deserve at all. Everyone needed to calm down. I'm so sorry. Like looking back, it was so insane what you people were saying to her. But 2 weeks after Driver's License came out and everyone linked Joshua to Sabrina, she released a song called Skin. You can try to get under my skin. And it was about how like the haters could not get under her skin. Do I think it was the best track? No. Do I think that it really played into the situation? Yes. And again, more people were talking about Sabrina Carpenter than ever at this point. And it was this situation that allowed Sabrina to write her most personal album to date, one that really dissected her life outside of the spotlight and things that were happening behind the scenes, Emails I Can't Send. And seriously, that is my favorite Sabrina project. Like, I love Short and Sweet. I know I'm gonna love Man's Best Friend, but like, there's something about Emails I Can't Send that just has that zhuzh. Like, it is just so good. And while this wasn't the album that skyrocketed Sabrina as a main pop girl, I believe it did lay the groundwork for her to really fine tune her craft and figure out what worked for her. Another thing I wanna say is like, that album was not just about the Olivia and Josh situation. It was also about like her family and issues that were happening there. So like, it just really was her pouring her emotions out into song, and it really resonated with a lot of fans. She toured the album and then released a deluxe, which really shifted the way people perceive Sabrina, specifically in the music industry. On the deluxe album, a song called Feather went super viral for a few reasons. One, it was just amazing. It was her first top 40 song, and the second reason is it actually got a priest demoted from his duties because Sabrina got permission from him to film the music video in that church in Brooklyn. And it was a very racy music video, especially for it being shot in a church. Like, I didn't think it was so crazy, but like, people in the church found it a little disturbing, I guess, and higher ups didn't like it, so they launched an investigation into that priest and found out that he was doing like a lot of stuff to mismanage that church. So then they just fired him. And it kind of all started with Sabrina, which is really funny. While Sabrina was touring Emails I Can't Send and the deluxe, there was a part of her show that also started to go viral on TikTok, and that was the nonsense outros. And this continued on and really helped Sabrina's star grow because after the tour finished, it was announced that she was going to be opening for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour for her Latin America dates. And the rest was history. I mean, she took the stage, she killed it, but she was doing the nonsense outros to 70,000 people every single show. And like, that was going viral. Her feather dance with the kick, it was seriously like a Sabrina takeover. And honestly, opening up for Taylor was like a huge honor, of course, but like, 2 of the openers went on to have major moments after, Sabrina and Gracie Abrams. So it was kind of like a fast track to stardom. And I do feel weird saying that because like Sabrina was already a star and she was already doing great, but like it got her exposed to so many more people that like, I don't know, it was just like at that time, like she started to be everywhere and it just continued on. Once she finished up her stint on the Eras Tour, Then came Coachella 2024. Ahead of the festival, she dropped her song Espresso as just a little song ahead of her performance in the desert, and we all know that was not just a little song, it was the biggest song of the year last year. I know for a fact, like, Espresso was the song of 2024. Not just the song of the summer. Like, it became an anthem for the year. It reached #1 on the Billboard Global 200 chart and peaked at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100, which was Sabrina's highest charting song by far. It was also around Coachella when Sabrina's relationship with actor Barry Keoghan became pretty public. He went to support her there. And on June 3rd, 2024, she announced her 6th studio album, Short and Sweet, and followed it up with the second single, Please, Please, Please. This second single was so strong. I know that people didn't like Please, Please, Please at first, but like, I don't know how you can't like that song. Like, it was so good. And it started to really make waves because the music video had Barry Keoghan in it. I do want to stop and say here, like, everything Sabrina begged him not to do in that song. So he went and did that. But last summer, Sabrina was everywhere. And it all kind of started with Feather, and she was just gaining momentum, and it just kept going. Like, she was skyrocketing. Short and Sweet was released in August. It immediately went to #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Sabrina's first #1 album, and it got her 2 Grammys, Best Pop Solo Performance and Best Pop Vocal Album. She also is still technically on the Short and Sweet tour. There is a leg starting up again in the fall, but like, Man's Best Friend is gonna be out. So like, it's so crazy that like this tour hasn't even finished and she's releasing a new album. Like, this is how it used to be in the early 2010s with pop stars, like churning out projects every year. But now it's like eras are prolonged and things are a little bit different, but Sabrina's not playing by the rules. She also became a staple in pop culture around this time, which I feel like is a true attribute for a main pop girl. But like, SNL used Espresso to do the Bridesmaids sketch with Ariana Grande.
The bridesmaids wanted a celebration.
So we took a trip, bachelorette vacation.
And of course, Sabrina showed up in the final iteration of that during the SNL 50th anniversary special singing it. And she also opened the SNL 50th anniversary special with Paul Simon. Like, she's been given so many amazing opportunities. She was doing collaborations with Duncan, Van Leeuwen, getting brand partnerships, becoming a brand ambassador. Like, you couldn't open your phone and not see Sabrina Carpenter. Plus, once the Short and Sweet tour started, the Juno position would go viral every single night. Like, so cool to see that she became a staple in pop culture at that time as well. She was really riding this wave and did release a deluxe to Short and Sweet in February, which featured a collaboration with Dolly Parton. I'm Sorry, Please, Please, Please feat Dolly. It is like one of my least favorite songs that Sabrina's released in the last few years, but like, the rest of the songs were stunning, and people were like, okay, she's gonna do this deluxe, finish the tour, and then be silent for a little. But that's completely the opposite of where we're standing right now, because she was announced to be a festival headliner for a couple different festivals in 2025, and ahead of one of these, she released Manchild. It was following the Espresso formula where, ahead of Primavera Sound this year, she pretty much put out Manchild as a song that she could perform at the festival, and people were like, okay, there's no way she has another project ready. This is probably gonna be a droplet era or a scrap song from her album that like she wanted to put out to perform live because it's fun. And after its release, it was met with mixed reviews. People were kind of saying that it sounded too similar to Short and Sweet. That is what led to a lot of the like scrapped comments. And I guess my response to that is like, you guys just hate fun. Yeah, it's kind of similar sonically, but it's very, very fun. But I also didn't think that it was going to be the start of a new album cycle. Like, I really thought that she was gonna drop a few singles throughout the summer and perform them live, and then just like have them kind of stand on their own. Separately, I will say around this time, she actually went to support Olivia Rodrigo at her Hyde Park show, and this really marks the kind of end to this whole feud because they have seemingly been good for a while. I mean, at the Grammys, there was videos of them hugging. It was super grainy, but like, you can tell it's them. And while they most likely resolved things in private a very long time ago, their fans were always going back and forth. So Sabrina publicly supporting Olivia at Hyde Park, I think really sent a message to the fandoms to like calm down and like stop this, because they're headlining a lot of the same festivals, or they already have, and it just seems like they're ready to support each other, and everything from 2021 is completely behind them. A few weeks after all of this, Sabrina announced her 7th studio album, Man's Best Friend. It was really interesting because she was on Instagram Live and she was showing all of these vinyls that she had, and she just like showed the Man's Best Friend vinyl. And then right after she got off live, she announced the album. But this was shocking. No one was expecting this. Like, it was a random weekday. And as I said, we do not see pop girls churning out albums every year like they used to. I mean, Rihanna was giving us an album every year for 4 or 5 years straight. But she explained with her announcement that like she couldn't stop writing. There was a lot happening, of course, with the Berry of it all. I mean, Man-Child was literally about him, and that's very clear, but like, she didn't want to play by the rules. She's like, I could extend Short and Sweet as an era, but like, I have all this work. I've been doing a ton of stuff behind the scenes. Why not just release it? I want to give my fans music. And as a fan, as a huge fan, I'm so thankful for that. Like, I'm ready to hear this project. She did tease that it was a very like Donna Summers, ABBA, Dolly Parton themed album, and the collaborators are like Jack Antonoff, Amy Allen, a lot of the same people that she did Short and Sweet with. But this album cover, guys, when she put this album cover out, the discourse that was sparked was so insane. People were being so unwell, saying that it set women back hundreds of years. I'm sorry, that is a crazy take. I did not read that much into it. I like the album cover, and I like the alternate album covers as well. I think Sabrina did a really, really good job like handling it and leading into it to promote some of the alternate covers. But seriously, I have to laugh. I mean, it was a great marketing tool because everyone was talking about it and writing think pieces for weeks. And with the album coming out literally in a couple days, what tracks are you claiming? I know some people have heard it already and are saying that it's great. I think that we are going to kind of get something Short and Sweet-esque in terms of genre bending and switching. So I don't know, like, I just know Short and Sweet is a no-skip album. So I'm expecting a similar thing. Like, even if it's similar, I don't care because the songs on that last project are so good that I would take a 2.0, like a little revamped tongue-in-cheek lyrics. Like, Sabrina does such a good job at doing the tongue-in-cheek thing. And I think that's another thing that she realized, like honing her craft. Like, she has this wittiness that she can really infuse into her songs that no one else can do. At the end of the day, Sabrina Carpenter is a generational talent. It just took her a while to find her stride. With Hollywood Records, I feel like she was really limited and restricted for what she could do. And she also wanted to act. She was doing a lot of acting projects on the side because that is something that she also loves to do. But you could tell with Emails I Can't Send and her signing a record deal with Island, a lot of things shifted. And of course that was in part because of the Olivia Rodrigo driver's license situation, but like there was a really big shift in the way that she was going about her craft as a musician, writing Emails I Can't Send, that I think that was a catalyst for her wanting to go full force into it. And ever since then, she never looked back. So I don't know, I'm a huge fan. I can't wait to see what she brings with this album. What are you guys expecting? Like, let me know in the comments and have a great week. Love you guys. Bye.
Heard you're about to go.